back. This is still Daybreak Africa. And before we went on that short break, we've been discussing about COVID-19 and how people are able to cope during this period. Now, you were talking about post-COVID-19, what people are supposed to do.
Yes.
There are some certain things that are not put in place, like you've mentioned a few, but there are some things that are supposed to be needed for us to be able to succeed in those areas. For example, you mentioned social media. Now, if you talk about social media, and data is one thing that is really difficult to get now in our society during this COVID-19 period, where we still do not have enough cash flowing around. And maybe before COVID-19, we subscribe to data 1,000. I do it like 5 times in a week. And now
every day,
yeah, because it doesn't really last.
It's got to be online.
Last. For me to work online, like the example you gave, and then now we're saying, okay, let's move to social media. Subscription becomes a problem. Then we have electricity, also a barrier. There are some certain things, manpower, that is not available for me to explore this particular thing that I want to do. How can we handle issues like that is out of my control? Because I can't go to any communication outlet now and say, give me free data. There's COVID-19. Well, it doesn't work that way. So
they will tell you that there's COVID-19 there too.
So how do we cope?
I quite agree. I think that's where the government needs to come, into a question. That's what other countries, other governments, do to ensure that they make life easy for the people, for the citizens. So I think the government needs to look into that. Because, for example, I subscribe to a particular network, and I discovered that during this period, they increased their fees.
Yeah.
And that irritated me. I felt quite bad. But what would I do? I had to adjust again. So I think while we do that, we also need to complain as Nigerians. We need to protest. We need to complain. And I think these complaints when I got called by the customer care service, I had to, complain and say, this is what I'm not happy with your service and all that. So, but I think that we still need to think outside the box. These days now people sell airtime. I know friends that will tell me, don't buy from your bank account.
Buy from me.
Buy from me. Do you understand? Big people are beginning to think of new ways of doing things. So there's several other things that people can do, and I just believe that we need to just we need to evolve and tap into this online, the ICT. There was a time when the economy was majorly agriculture.
Yes.
During that time, it depends on how much flock you have.
Exactly.
Sheep,
whether children or
so now
members.
The world life is forcing us to change. Now businesses are not doing they're not doing business the way they used to do before. So we will now have online meetings, Zoom meetings, even schools. I was even taking a swipe at the universities that, apart from the private universities have not even come back.
The public universities.
They are finding it difficult to adapt to that system, because they haven't been doing online in time past, just secondary schools.
Okay, no thanks to lack of infrastructure.
Yes, I agree. But since this is now dawning on us, we have to do the needful.
We have to adjust.
We have to adjust. You can't go back. You have to really go forward.
Okay, let's look at still going back to post-COVID-19. Right now, there are so many loopholes that have not been filled. Do you think how much do you think this will affect people to come out? Because I'm not an economist, but looking around, you just know that this recession that is being talked about, perhaps we're in already. And if care is not taken, by the time all of these are over, we'll be in depression. Even if the calculation here is not very direct, it's still neither here nor there. But how can people take advantage, those people who lack some things, like she mentioned, even finances, to get data, to be able to get trained? And it boils down, I'm going to the psychological part, to stay strong, because inadequacies will come, lack will come. Money will be scarce. Yeah. So how can people stay strong? Psychologically, stay strong and say, this is a season, it will go.
Well, I think that you hit the nail on the head. That the truth is, even the psychological part makes it even worse for us, because there's sometimes that you just, even when things are quite okay for
Yes.
you just become angry, you become resentful, and you
Unnecessarily
just
agitated.
yes, you
And
need
ask
to
yourself,
control.
why? What's going on?
You need to control your thoughts, and you need to focus on faith, because the truth is, like you said, we've had Spanish flu, we've had Ebola. This is coming to pass. It's not coming to stay. So if you focus on the things the positive things, positive outlook of life, you would fare better. The truth is, the mind is dumb. It's what you tell it that it believes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like watching a movie, for example. When you're watching a movie, you know it's a stage play, but yet you cry. Yet you see one horror scene and you start to
then you
fidget.
shake, but you know
Your
you
mind
made
does
up.
not know. You know, your consciousness knows, but the subconscious does not know. It cannot differentiate between reality and fiction. So it's what you tell it. When you tell your mind that it is well, if you tell your mind that it will soon pass,
And truly,
those positive affirmations and staying strong, keeping in touch with good relationship, a good support system.
Yes.
This is even a time where we need to also realize that, you know, alone, individually, we are mere droplets of water, but together we are an ocean. The support systems you're connected with too. Some people are getting palliatives from churches, some people from the associations and all that. No man can live.
No, this is not time for an
Yes,
island,
you
an
can't live
island
like an
mindset.
island. You need support system. Sometimes it could just be a word of encouragement that keeps you through the day, or you know, sustains you through that time. So we need to plug in or to get attached to associations, relationships, positive relationships, and focus on faith, because the truth is, fear would always make you
come. Now, for instance, yes, we're encouraged to have physical distancing, but thank God we have means, telecommunication, phones, and so on. You can call up somebody and you know, share your thoughts.
I've been
and
doing
all of
more
that.
WhatsApp calls now than ever. Before I do phone call all the
But
time.
now
but
WhatsApp is taking
so you
over.
see, we are all adapting.
Yeah, adapting
because
to the
when
times.
you check your airtime and you see that it's not,
You know
you
what next
find
to do.
your brain
You
has a
find the
way
next
of looking
way.
for the the next available solution.
What about reading of books, for instance?
Yes.
Read up stuff, things that will
Educating
build
yourself. This is even
your
a time
mind.
for you to prepare. For me, I know that my own kind of business cannot go into extension.
Okay.
Because people will always be depressed. People will always need encouragement and all that. Although there might be some shortage. But for example, I do training, and now I cannot do training. But now I've had to adapt now to writing, creating contents, working at home.
Okay.
So we all have to adapt, and I'm also preparing for the new normal. That's why I'm taking courses that will be relevant by the time things get better. So you don't prepare for war during the time of war. You prepare for war during the time of peace. So in the process of being reactive, you also need to prepare ahead. Because more people will still lose jobs. It's inevitable.
I like what you said there, prepare for war when you're at peace. I think that's the mistake we made, because if we had prepared for COVID-19 when we had it in other country, I don't think we'll be some certain things would be would have been averted if we had done that. Now let's come to the government now, because it still boils down to them. What do you think the government can do to help people at this time, at this period? Which areas do you think the government can look into to say, okay, we need to do this for our people right now because they can't afford this, or they can't live without this, or they need this? Which areas do you think they can?
Well, I think the government needs to work on the subsidy. For example, we discovered that during this period, the fuel, decreased.
No,
it decreased at some point in time.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So those are part of the measures that the government can put in place. And if you really do your research, you discover that most of these companies that are charging, high, for example, the networks, it's still, if you trace it, it goes back to the government. Because there might be some tariffs or things that they're imposing on them, and they're trying to ensure that they do not lose.
Exactly.
So, the effect falls on the final consumer. So if the government can actually provide measures that would ensure that the problem is alleviated, I think that would do us a lot of good. The telecommunication sector, even I discovered, they said they are still providing palliatives. I don't know if that is still effective. But we need to do more. Now you see, for example, a bank donates millions to the
Millions.
government, and the next thing it's
Sacking.
sacks,
Lays off stuff.
it lays off. So people are paying the price. So what's the government doing
Like
about
it-
that? You don't
like
sacrifice
it-
the people
like,
to
exactly.
save the situation. You save the situation to save the save the people. So government, the truth is, the government needs to play a major role in this
Okay,
ongoing pandemic.
like in other clients, we hear of monies being set aside. For instance,
Yeah.
in the UK, about £1 billion.
Yes,
The rent's not being paid for a certain
£5 billion
time.
pounds
Yes.
for what they call build to revive the economy.
We've heard that donations have been made,
Coming
but
in.
as an individual, have you felt the impact?
And then there was also another proposed 500 billion naira to rejig the economy just about in the middle of the lockdown, and we've not heard much about that. And we have not even talked about the budget. Come to think of it. But as we close, do you believe that the world, I take it to the world now, the world would indeed survive quickest? Because we're having lockdown, and then now we're having lockdown again. Catalonia, Leicester, and so on. Though it's happening in pockets of places, not the way it started,
Yes,
where the entire country,
yes, the entire
one
world was
soup.
on lockdown.
How quickly do you think the world can overcome this?
Well, I'm not a prophet. I just hope that we will, come back very soon. I cannot tell, but we should just prepare for the worst.
Okay.
Let's hope for the best.
So
and
the worst is
prepare
yet to
for the
come.
worst. Well, I believe that, I strongly believe that things will get better before the end of the year.
Okay.
Things
well,
will get better before the end
I
of
think
the
I
year.
take that home.
And
I
that's
will take that
also
home.
we
I
need
think
to
that-
also focus on the faith aspect.
Okay, the faith.
We need to pray together. God can do more for us in a moment that we can possibly do for ourselves in a lifetime.
Wow, I think
Amazing.
that's even stronger.
Strong way to end.
In a lifetime and in a moment, of course, when
Yes.
God steps in a
Yes.
moment, 1,000 years can just come into. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Well,
Thank
we've
you
been
so much
speaking
for
with
coming.
Tosin Morgan. We could have continued time factor. I mean, words of encouragement there. I mean, these are the kind of words we need right now because it goes beyond just physical lack. The mind could also lack.
Yes.
And if we can address the mind, most possibly we'll be strong enough to withstand the physical. Thank you indeed.
All right. We'll go on a short break now, and when we do come back, Daybreak Africa continues. Please stay with us.